WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It is a Preakness 143 kind of week around here, and this is one of our defending champions. We always talk horse racing with this guy. He is my former intern. Now he has climbed the ladders and the ranks of the Maryland Jockey Club and the horse racing industry. He'll be the dude on the televisions all weekend if you're going out to the Black-Eyed Susan wearing your pink on Friday or on Saturday at Old Hilltop. Stan Salter joins us live via satellite from Old Hilltop, where he's getting up early just like his dad did when he was a trainer, and checking out the lines and reading all the forms and trying to figure out who's going to win this race. Boy, Justify has certainly justified it all here, all the hype. Right, Stan Salter?
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for having us on. Justify, he arrives at Pimlico Wednesday afternoon. There's a Brookledge airplane that's flying from California to Kentucky, and then we'll land at BWI at 1:30 Wednesday afternoon with Justify and a whole slew of other horses for Black-Eyed Susan and Preakness Day. Those horses will then ship by van to Pimlico, probably get here about 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. So we'll get a close-up look of your Kentucky Derby winner, Justify, who's going to be the heavy favorite in this Saturday's 143rd Preakness Stakes with the Hall of Famer D. Wayne Lucas. He's in town. He's not afraid of no Derby winner. Lucas shipped in Monday afternoon with two Preakness starters, Bravazzo, who was 6th in the Kentucky Derby, and also a new shooter, Sporting Chance. Now, if you remember back in 2013, Lucas came to the Preakness with Oxbow, who was 6th in the Kentucky Derby that year. And Oxbow and the Hall of Famer Gary Stevens and Wayne Lucas, they pulled off the upset in 2013 with Oxbow, and Lucas trying to do the same thing this year with Bravazzo and Sporting Chance. They both jogged 1 mile this morning on a muddy track here at Pimlico. They both looked great. They both acted like model citizens. Lucas, a class act. He gave us a nice press conference after his two horses trained, and he's very confident, very happy with everything about his two horses. And I asked Lucas, with all the wisdom he has, he's won 6 Preaknesses. He's going for a record-tying 7th Preakness. Him and Baffert with 6 Preakness wins. They're trying to tie some trainer who won the Preakness 7 times back in the 1800s. But Lucas says his experience might just give him the edge this week. He stays in the barn all day long, sits in that chair at the end of the barn all morning, all afternoon. He watches all the other horses in the Preakness Stakes barn. Keep your eye on the Hall of Famer D. Wayne Lucas. I think Lucas ripe to pull off another upset in this Saturday's Preakness.
All right, well, let's go back and reevaluate what happened here 2 weeks ago at Churchill Downs amidst a sloppy track. Obviously, all the forecasts for pretty wet conditions here this week out at Old Hilltop. And, throughout the week, we'll see what Saturday beholds. But certainly between now and Saturday, there's going to be plenty of wet surface out there for all these horses to work through. Justify held up against that better than anyone could have anticipated. And Baffert admitted to me earlier this week, and you can hear that in the BuyAToyota.com audio vault, that even, he was surprised at how well it held up because, you always have concerns when a horse goes out there, especially these young horses, and a lot of folks don't realize just how young these animals are. These are lightly raced creatures who may be seeing that sort of condition for the first time. Justify made it through the traffic, through the mess, through the noise, through the slop, through all of that, through the fast, torrid start and the pace of the race to hold up. There's not much to shoot a hole in Justify's case to be an odds-on favorite here on Saturday.
Yeah, he's going to be the heavy favorite. I'm looking forward to seeing him up close in person Wednesday afternoon. They say he's the big 17 hands. But look, he's only run 4 times. He's running back here in 2 weeks for the first time, just like all the other 3-year-olds, but the other horses have a little more seasoning, a little more foundation underneath them from running at 2 and running more this year as a 3-year-old. But Bob Baffert, he's undefeated coming to the Preakness with the Kentucky Derby winner, so he's not going to make any mistakes. I'm looking forward to seeing this horse up close and in person. We know Justify likes the slump. I'm not so sure how the Derby runner-up Good Magic, I'm not so sure how he likes an off-track. Sure, he ran well in the Derby to finish second, but to me, at least, in my humble opinion, it looked like he was sputtering his wheels a little bit at the 8th pole. He was trying to get by Justify, and he just couldn't. Now, this morning on a muddy track, Good Magic, he galloped about 1.5 miles for trainer Chad Brown. Chad Brown, you remember, pulled off the upset in the Preakness last year with Cloud Computing, and he's trying to do it again here with Good Magic, who will be your second choice in the Preakness. But we had a money track this morning here. Good Magic galloped a mile and a half. He looked okay. He gallops well and everything, but I don't think an off track is his preferred surface. But I talked to his assistant trainer Jose Hernandez after Good Magic galloped, and him and the Chad Brown camp, they're all happy. They say Good Magic's doing well, but I think Good Magic wants a fast track rather than an off track. That's just my opinion, but we know Justify, he likes it either way.
Stan Salter is our guest. He is the track handicapper out at Hi-Ho Pimlico. You can follow him at Stan Salter on Twitter as well. Hey, and Stan, Maryland Horse TV is also out there, and I know you got stuff happening this week. Give everybody a little background on how busy it is out there. And let's be honest, Laurel's more the home course. This is more like spring training where you only move into this facility for a short period of time, and we all know the challenges out there as well, but this is also just a huge, huge week with Pink, with Black Eyed Susan, with Animal shipping out, with Alibi Breakfast. It's just, I don't know when you're sleeping this week, Stan.
Yeah, it's been Preakness mode 7 days a week. That's been going on for the past couple of weeks. We had opening weekend last weekend here at Old Hilltop. We had a good opening weekend. The turf course looks sensational. We were off the turf last Sunday because of rain, but we'll be on the turf this Friday and Saturday. It'll be you'll see some nice turf racing out there. And yeah, we're having a busy week. We started with Manic Monday with Ron Matz on WJZ 6:00 Monday morning. I was out here at 5:08 this morning, but I arrived late compared to the 82-year-old Hall of Famer D-Way Lucas. He probably got out of here about 4:30 or something. That's when the coach gets out here. But I was out here to see his first couple go out. Well,
I saw you put a picture of D-Wayne Lucas up at Maryland Horse Radio on Twitter before the crack of dawn. Like literally, there's still much dawn and dusk and dark. Not dusk, but the morning darkness. And you know, these guys get up at 2 in the morning. Your dad lived this life, right?
Yeah. Horse trainers have to get there early in the morning. So some trainers feed breakfast in the morning. The trainers that feed breakfast in the morning, they feed breakfast at about 4 in the morning. Not all trainers feed early breakfast. Some wait till after training hours to feed horses breakfast. But Wayne Lucas, he's known for getting to the barn early and being the first one out there. He likes to have a freshly harrowed track for his horses to train on. So it makes sense. And just one little small example why the guy's in the Hall of Fame. After both his horses train, you know, when they're getting baths back there by the stakes barn, he had 3 people, not 1, not 2. It was a 3-person bath for both Bravazzo and Sporting Kiss. That's why Lucas is in the Hall of Fame.
He is Stan Salter. You'll be doing all sorts of things. Give everyone like a little bit of a lowdown, a little primer for the weekend, and some thoughts about coming out to the track this weekend and being a part of this thing. You started to promote something last week that I didn't know about that I've seen elsewhere now, which are the free morning tours of the backside. If you want to go out and see the horses and smell the horse manure and feed the hay and watch how this really works. This is a pretty unique thing that I know people have taken advantage of here this week. My wife loves the Alibi Breakfast. She's been a little under the weather this week. I don't know if we're going to get her out there. She has a hat that she picked out last weekend that she wants to wear on Saturday. But she loves coming out, seeing the Clydesdale, seeing all the horses, and the amount of activity out there during the morning and then into Friday for the Pink Festival is kind of incredible.
Yeah, the Sunrise Tours are very popular. They're free. Absolutely free. They started this morning. We also had a field trip from a local elementary school. They came out here. You get to see the Preakness horses train. There's coffee and donuts out there on the apron. The Baltimore City Mounted Police, they came here this morning. All the people in the tours in the elementary school, they got to see the Baltimore City Mounted Police. They're here at Pimlico for the rest of the week, keeping us safe. Yeah, the Sunrise Tours, you can't beat them. You get to see the Budweiser Clydesdales and the Dalmatians as well. We have our outriders out there on the rail that talk to all the people in the tour. They start bright and early, 6:00. You'll be able to see all the Preakness horses train. Come on out here. It's free. The Sunrise Tour is always very popular out here at Pimlico. It was cool to see the Baltimore City Mounted Police arrive here this morning. That was really cool. We'll have the Preakness Draw Wednesday afternoon. That starts about 5:00. Alibi Breakfast on Thursday. We have a good racing card here on Thursday the races on Black-Eyed Susan Day, they're off the charts. We have a really good card Friday. We have some local horses in the Grade 2 Black-Eyed Susan. We have an undefeated Maryland-bred filly, Good One Honey, who I think has a real good shot in the Black-Eyed Susan. Then we also have a local horse for the Grade 3 Pimlico Special, the 7-year-old Something Awesome. He's won 3 consecutive stake races. He's a local horse. He's going in the Pimlico Special. So a couple big local rooting interests for the card on Friday, and we'll have a bunch of local rooting interest on Saturday. I think, well, I'll be rooting for a good race, but I'm liking what I see from the Lucas camp out here. You know, the Hall of Famer, he was here yesterday. Chad, but Baffert, he gets here tomorrow. Chad Brown, he'll be getting here later this week. Lucas says his experience might give him the edge this week. I know what he's saying. So I'm keeping my close eye on Lucas's horses this week. They might be one of my upset picks for the Preakness this Saturday.
That's why they call it the alibi breakfast. Everyone has an excuse. He's Stan Salter, MD Horse Radio, out on Twitter. And if you're at the track at any point this weekend, you'll be that very, very handsome man in pink on Friday. By the way, I would come out to the track on Friday. Stan, I have jury duty on Friday. So that is my excuse. I mean, remember, in Welcome Back, Cotto used to sign at Epstein's mother. This is signed, city government has summoned Nestor for jury duty on Friday. But if I get dismissed, I have a pink seersucker jacket. You know that. You've seen how good I look in pink. It's quite a day for the ladies, right? Like we celebrated Mother's Day last week. My wife spent Mother's Day with her mom. I've lost both of my moms, quite frankly, at this point. But this is a day for the ladies on Friday, and I think the Maryland Jockey Club's done a great thing with this. I live at the Harbor. I go out usually on that Friday. I see people all over town wearing pink. I think it's kind of a neat thing that's really kind of been let off from the Oaks, I think, right?
Yeah, it's a great day. It benefits Coleman, Maryland, so it's for great calls. And I want to see that pink seersucker suit you have again this year, Nestor. I'll try to get a pink tie to go with my blue blazer. But yeah, everybody is always looking nice out here. Black-Eyed Susan Day, like I said, it benefits Coleman, Maryland, so it's a great cause, and they've done a great job for promoting Black-Eyed Susan Day. We had almost 50,000 people here for Black-Eyed Susan Day last year. And I would expect just about the same amount of people here this year. We're looking for another record crowd and record attendance for both Black-Eyed Susan and Preakness Day. The records last year, like I said, almost 50,000 in attendance on Black-Eyed Susan. I think they did almost 20 million in handle. I think we'll break both those records this Friday. And for Preakness, the records last year, I think it was around 140,000 total. I think we'll break the record this year. And we'll get over 100 million in handle, I think, with the races we have in store for Saturday. So that'll be a record handle. And hey, Nestor, how about that big news that broke yesterday with the Supreme Court lifting that ban on that federal ban on sports gaming?
What do you want to say about that, Stan? Because I know you got some insights.
That is huge news for the racing industry. And the racing industry, I think, is making a very proactive effort to be in the front seat of this movement, not in the back seat. And hopefully, I hope Maryland's in the front seat of this operation too, and not in the back seat like they were with getting slot machines when all the neighboring states had them, and then we finally got them. Well, I think there's a chance. I hear there's a chance for a special session this fall to address this issue here for Maryland. The Maryland Jockey Club, we've already started preparing for this. The new sports bar that you were at on Kentucky Derby Day, right next to that sports bar at Laura Park, they're building the big sports book. There's a big, gigantic TV screen in there, one of the biggest TV screens in Maryland. We'll be all ready to go at Laura Park for sports gaming if we can get everybody down there in Annapolis to approve a special session here this fall. I think. Well,
it didn't even take 24 hours for New Jersey to say we're open for business at Monmouth on Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
I heard they can be up and running in like 10 days for sports gaming. So they won the battle in the Supreme Court, but now that opens it up for all states to try to get it done. Hopefully, Maryland can get it done. And it can be a boom for the Maryland Jockey Club and the whole Maryland horse industry. And you saw the numbers that came out from the Maryland Department of Agriculture this week at how big the horse industry here in Maryland is. It's near like a $2 billion industry, about 600,000 acres in green space. So I think the expanded chance we have of getting expanded gambling with sports gaming, I think it's going to be huge. What do you think about it, Nestor?
Well, I'm trying to do as much research as I can do on it, quite frankly. I mean, I don't want to say it came from nowhere, but until it happens, talking about it, there was no public buzz about this. Certainly coming down to Laurel a couple of weeks ago, I feel it in the industry with football and the fantasy side. I felt it coming. I wasn't skeptical because I read the experts on all this stuff. I follow the Michael McCanns of the world, and I sort of smelled it coming down the turnpike. I don't know what it means for Maryland, and you're quick to point out that Maryland was always slow to react to all of this stuff as a state. We'll see how it happens this time. Stan Salter is here. He'll be out on the televisions this weekend as well as at MD Horse Radio. Last thing for you, Stan. It's always good when you have a Triple Crown opportunity, and I know as much as it's good for business out at the Maryland Jockey Club to talk about Good Magic or Bravazzo or Sporting Chance or even the Tessio champion Diamond King, we all kind of expect Baffert to win Saturday, right?
I'm sorry, say your question.
Well, we all expect Baffert to win. We all expect that 3 weeks from now in Belmont that the industry will have this to celebrate because this horse looked so special 2 weeks ago.
He certainly does. He's going to be a heavy favorite this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to seeing him up close and in person. We've had heavy favorites get beat before. Fusiachi Pegasus was 1-5. He got beat by Red Bullet. We Always Dreaming was a heavy favorite last year for Pletcher. He got beat by Cloud Computing. We'll see how this big, heavy 17-hand horse can respond in 2 weeks. Lucas's horses, they're a little lighter. Good Magic, he's a little lighter. Justifies a big, heavy horse. He's got to come back in 2 weeks, but he's very talented. And we're talking to Lucas this morning. Lucas likes the horse as well, and said you have to respect Justified. But they can't mail it in. They still got to run the horse race. And Lucas says that they're not going to make it easy for him. That's why he showed up. To take on Justify. So with Good Magic here and Lucas here, I think we're going to have a real horse race, and it'll be a true horse race, and the best horse will win. We'll see if Justified is good enough to come back in 2 weeks and do it again.
Boy, it's been a little while since I've heard Fusaichi Pegasus. I mean, I was at that Derby with Kent DeSermo, and I remember that. And I remember Marty McGee telling me there's no way the horse is going to lose. Back at the turn of the century. So that one would be one of those. And I had Baffert on earlier this week too, and talking about winning and losing and thinking you haven't won. And he's been at this so long, he knows this. There's nothing automatic. These are creatures, right? Like literally, there's nothing automatic about this, and this is why we wager on it and talk about it all week.
Yeah, they're animals. They're not machines. They're animals, and they're young 3-year-olds, and they just ran 1.25 miles for the first time in the Derby, and now Justify and a few others from there. They have to come back in 2 weeks and run 1 mile and 3/16 against some of the best 3-year-olds in the world. So. It's not easy. It takes a special horse to win all three and win the Triple Crown. It takes a special horse just to win one of these Triple Crown races. So I'm looking forward to seeing John. I would like to see Justify arrive here a little earlier, but that's been Baffert's MO. He likes to come here the Wednesday before the Preakness. He's undefeated with the Kentucky Derby winner. He's won 6 Preaknesses, and I think we have a real good chance of either him or Lucas tie and getting their 7th Preakness win this year.
Always a pleasure to chat horse racing with you. Always appreciate our relationship. Many, many years as my intern, and now many, many years with you doing what you love doing, which is waking up with the animals in the morning and talking about them all afternoon and studying everything in the evenings. Stan, rest up. Rest your pipes. They're going to need you out there amidst the raindrops here this week. I hope for good weather, and I hope to run into you amidst the crab cakes and the nice hats on Saturday, my friend.
All right, beautiful. I hope you get out of that jury duty. Come out here in that pink seersucker suit.
Get out of jury duty, right. Do you know who I am? Believe me, the last time I went down there, I served on a trial that was if I were to begin with page 1 of What is Wrong with America, I would begin with my 3 days on a jury duty and watching a faux trial, as we would say. But, hey, that's for another day. For today, we're going to try to beat Justify on Saturday, or at least match him up in an exacta or a triple. Stan, a pleasure. We'll see you out at the racetrack.
All right, beautiful. Thanks a lot, Nestor. We'll see you out here at Pimlico.
He is MD Horse Radio out on Twitter, as well as out at Old Hilltop here this weekend. He'll be the guy in pink on Friday, Stan Salter. You can find me out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. The morning newspaper ships digitally to your email inbox, courtesy of our friends at Planet Fitness at planetfitness.com. And don't forget, the morning newspaper also now with the entries for Pimlico and the Maryland Jockey Club. Nasty at WNST.net reaches me 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. And we got Capitals this week. We're doing the Orioles as they go up to Fenway Park this weekend and talking about the future of the Orioles and certainly the future of the Ravens on the field. But these couple days leading up to the Preakness, I love talking some horse racing. It's the one time a year I get to take a deep dive and talk to so many cool people inside the industry. Hope you're enjoying that, and any of it you can find in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. I'm also out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.